I don't know how a game can simultaneously be one of the best video games of all time, while also being one of the most overrated video games of all time, but that's the power of the marketing behind the game that so many people seem to love and hate simultaneously, The Last of Us. This might be an oddly negative note to start the segment on, but I really did want to bring it up. This narrative that has been so successfully pushed on mainstream audiences that The Last of Us was some Citizen Kane moment for gaming is completely absurd, but I find it funny and interesting to study, but I don't think the kind of people watching this video would be the kind who need that specific marketing history lesson. I think we can all come together and compromise with saying that The Last of Us is just one of the best games ever made. So many ingredients in this deeply American soup do seem supercharged for mass appeal. For some reason, Western culture loves a good old guy protects little guy story. Zombies were super in back in the day, and it's a shooter, but also has survival elements, so it isn't completely brain dead. It's story-driven, but also had an online component if that's more your speed. It just seemed primed to approach anyone where they were at and offer something they can vibe with. The relationship between Joel and Ellie quickly became an all-time great for the medium, and is certainly the aspect of the game that pulled me in the most. Their personalities are so pungent, brought to life beautifully by some of the most raw performances that could only be realized so well, thanks to continued development in motion capture technology. It took so many all-star elements coming together to make these two the gaming icons they are now. They bounce off each other in obviously entertaining ways, but they also learn and grow from each other, sometimes in really obvious ways, but also sometimes in really quiet ways that you might not even notice until they explode on the screen from the pressure of their bleak circumstances. Those circumstances are really enhanced by this game's approach to combat and survival. Every shot does feel significant, and every resource feels like a gift. Yet it's so well balanced and paced that I think it's incredibly approachable for anyone who knows how to fire a gun in a game. It's not giving you the mechanical tension of a survival horror game most of the time. It's more like chronic, acute stress spawned from the fact that even though you feel competent and capable, you never feel like you're completely in charge of your situation. All of these positive aspects I've highlighted hold true from one of the most emotionally wrenching openings a game has ever seen, all the way until one of the most emotionally wrenching endings video games have ever seen. I tend to really like it when a game's themes are nuanced enough that it gets people debating about what people should have done in different situations and if characters made the right or wrong choice. And even when I just explained that premise to you, I think most gamers would jump right to The Last of Us, even if I wasn't talking in a segment dedicated to it. However, no spoilers on my show, so instead, I'm gonna end off by thanking The Last of Us for being pretty much the only massively significant video game I can think of to spend a significant amount of time in Pittsburgh, one of my favorite places that I never really have a good excuse to go to. The apocalypse looks good on it.